It's encouraging, but one step at a time to get there.
Welcome back, and today we have a client session of somebody in business. They were looking to push their business forward. Now, they were in a good position. I mean, they were in first place, but they were a little bit preoccupied with the things they were handling. Check it out. Lovely. So, hello, Lucy. Great to have you here. So, I understand you have no real experience of metaphors of movement. You got recommended you try a bit of a demonstration, and that's why you're here. So you mentioned where just before we press the lovely record button of joy that you were looking to explore your business and you're looking to push your business more. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So that whole thing, your business, that whole thing, what's that like?
Currently,
Yeah, what's it like, that whole thing?
so the whole thing is I get to a certain point in my business and then either I lack the expertise or the confidence to go forward. So it's a
Okay,
bit like a sieve.
it's like a sieve.
Yeah, so if I could describe it, it's like a ball with holes in it.
Okay,
So
what's to your left? Okay, what's to your left?
bigger holes.
Okay, so there's bigger holes to your left.
Yeah, and the holes on the right are smaller in this sort of
Okay, and
metal
are you
ball.
holding a ball?
I am, yeah, it's metal.
Okay, okay, so you're holding a metal ball with
Yeah.
holes in it, and you're holding the ball. What's to your left?
Ah, um, it's a bit of an empty space,
Empty like what? Like a car park, like a field, like a empty like what?
like it's like a sort of fog,
Okay, so there's a fog to your left, and what's to your right?
like a green pasture.
Green pasture. And what's behind you?
Um, I don't know why, but the first word that came up was elephant.
Elephant.
Yeah.
Is the elephant facing you, or is it to the right, facing to the right, to the left? How's the elephant oriented relative to you?
It's facing me, but it's diagonal. So it sort of trunks here.
So trunks, okay, cool. So it's a diagonal elephant. And what's in front?
The sunshine.
The sunshine. Cool. And what are you standing on?
A sort of like a small platform
A small
made,
platform. How
made
high
of
is this
wood.
how high is this platform off the ground?
It's like when you have in the Olympics first, second, and third. So it's a rostrum, and I'm on the first, the top, the highest one.
Ah, okay. So it is a first, second, and third platform. And is it so is like the second to the left and the first, third to the right? So how does it sort of how's it
Yeah,
set up?
second to my right, and third is the lowest one would be on my left.
Gotcha. Cool. Lovely. With a sneeze again. Lovely. Okay, and what's up?
Oh, a balloon.
Balloon. Like a hot air balloon or like a helium balloon or what sort of balloon?
Yeah, the first image was a hot air balloon.
Called a hot air balloon. Lovely. Okay, cool. So if we've got this right, you're standing on this podium. Does it have first, second, and third on it, or
No, it doesn't have anything written.
okay? But it's like that sort of podium. There's an elephant behind you that's on a diagonal. There's a green pasture to your right, a fog in front, sunshine in front, and you're holding a metal ball with holes in it.
Yes, that's
So,
correct.
cool. How do you deal with this in real life, Lucy? In real life, how do you deal with this thing? What do you do? Real life.
I do a little bit here and there, a little.
Oh, okay, cool. You do it. Okay,
Yeah. At the moment, I'm
that's good.
working with
Just a little bit
somebody
here
to
and there.
help
Yeah,
me.
you just do a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Another question for you. So you said there's sunshine in front, yeah?
Hmm.
The sunshine is normally up. Is there anything in front of you on more of a ground level out of interest?
No, the sunshine is in front of me.
Oh, so it's just sunshine in front of you.
Yeah, like the round yellow ball of
Beautiful.
sun. The sun.
Okay, cool. So there's a lot of interesting aspects here, and we're going to go through them. So it's quite unclear what's left for you. What's left for you is a bit foggy. It could be said what's left for you, the options that are available for you, I mean, it's a bit dense. If you were to progress in that direction, I mean, you might find yourself getting lost, and you wouldn't
Mm,
necessarily have that much vision. You wouldn't be able to have a really clear outlook
yeah.
because of the environment you'd find yourself in. Now, what's right for you seems quite natural. It's quite grown. There is a natural element to it. I mean, I'm not saying things are put out to pasture, but there's a certain feeling around what's right for you that is quite natural. Now, you're not necessarily in a room, so I can't say that there's an elephant in the room, but there is something quite big in the background to this.
Mm,
Something quite obvious to this that really stands out.
mm,
That if you were to actually look in the background, you'd know what that was. But you're focused on what's directly in front of you. Now, what's up has got a lot of hot air in it. It's got a lot of hot air to maintain its position. But what's above you is afloat. It's up there. People look up to it. You look up to it. And if anything, you've got a platform that shows you're a winner. I mean, you're first in this thing. Now, what you look forward to is pretty bright. It's got a nice shine to it. Might be blinding at times, depending. Um, but you're also really focusing on what you're handling. Question: the board that's got holes in it, are the holes like accidentally there, or is it made with holes in it?
it's made with holes in it.
Oh, so you're focused on looking down on handling the thing that's got holes in it, but the holes are just there.
Mm,
I mean,
yeah.
if the holes were made that way, I mean, you can't necessarily fix it. I mean, you could add parts to it if you wanted to cover up the holes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I'm seeing this in my mind, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like a ball and it's like a frame, so you can almost see through the holes and see through the holes, or can you not see all the way through, depending on how you look at it?
Yeah, it's like the kind of the old-fashioned sieves or colanders.
Okay,
It's
cool.
it's like two colanders put together.
Cool. Is there anything inside it?
When you were talking a moment ago, it felt like that. Because when originally I was thinking about it, it was like almost the holes were letting things out, letting things
Mm.
seep out. But actually, when I started thinking about it, it's letting light in.
Oh, okay. So it's letting light in.
Mm,
Interesting. Because what's interesting about a sieve, now, a sieve has lots of holes in it, but it serves a purpose. It allows for certain things to drain out of it, but at the same time, it captures things that are big enough, that are sizable enough to keep a hold of. Now, I've never caught light with sieves, personally, but but I can tell you're taking responsibility for this thing
I mean, it's
because
almost like if you hold up a colander in the light and against the window, then the light's going to shine through the holes,
yeah.
all like
So if
that.
anything, the light can still get through.
Mm,
The light can still get to you, even if you're handling this thing with holes. The trouble is, when you're handling this thing with holes, you can't handle anything else because your hands are occupied. And similarly, the challenge that you're facing at the moment is you're up there. Now, I know when I was younger, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was never the best academic, but I did a few things, and I remember I must have been 11, my last year of primary school. I won chess champion. I was chess champion of the year. Now, don't get me wrong, the guy I beat made a huge mistake. I got lucky, but I was chess champion, and I was up there and up there and up there and up there. Now, the trouble is, when you're up there, I mean, I wouldn't say this, but some people might say, well, I mean, she might be a bit stuck up there. But if you were to take any steps, it'd be a bit of a letdown because you'd have to move from your current position. And some people don't like that. Now, what I also find interesting, so to achieve a goal in metaphor, you need four things. Well, technically you need five, but we're going to talk about four. We need a direction, a distance, and a mode, and a rate. Direction, distance, mode, and rate. So if we look at where you're at, direction, I mean, you've got lots of directions you could go in. Distance, yeah, you could go there, maybe. Mode and rate, you could walk, you could actually get there. But what you look forward to, what's in front of you is the sun, which is nice. I mean, it's a bright outlook to have. But where are you actually going if you're going to go forward? Similarly, green pastures, we can be in a pasture, we can be in a field, but if you were to go that way, where are you going? You can't see where to go, what's left. And you could like get to what's in the background of this, but I mean, it would be quite big relative to you. And I mean, you might not necessarily need to deal with what's in the background if you were to take a step in a different direction. So, what I get from this is, where are you going, Lucy?
Hmm. Is that, are you asking me that? Where am I going?
It's just a consideration. I mean, a little while ago, I mean, I was getting fat, probably due to sugar issues, possibly, well, multiple issues, I'm sure. Basically, I was lazy, I didn't go to the gym, stuff like that. And I tried losing weight, I tried different things, and then I thought, screw it. I'm going to set myself a goal. And I set myself a goal. I'm going to do a half marathon. This was like maybe like December 27th, something like that. So not quite New Year, because that always fails, but just a different time. And I said, okay, I'm going to do a half marathon midterm a year. So I did that, signed up to a gym, got fitter, did some stuff. Don't get me wrong, wasn't perfect, wasn't ideal, but I got a lot fitter. And I did the half marathon. And actually, after it, I was pretty happy with myself. But I'm like, I didn't actually want that. I wanted to look buffer. I wanted to look like, like buff man. So actually, a group of friends of mine, they actually do this thing called a Spartan every year. They dress up as Spartans because I lived in the Czech Republic for a time, and they walk around Prague dressed up as Spartans. I'm like, that's cool. Because also there's some external stimulus. People will see me. I can't be the fat Spartan. Right? So then I set myself a goal. I did that. Don't get me wrong. I was the fatter Spartan, but I was a lot slimmer and stuff because I'd set another goal, another milestone, something to go towards. Because personally, I've never really liked goals. I've struggled with them, but they do have a time, they do have a place, and they do have a space.
Hmm.
So this is what I'd consider in this. You're so focused at what's immediately in front of you
Right.
and the responsibility you've got for handling that. Another question is, well, what are you doing with it? You know.
Hmm.
So these are
Hmm.
considerations. Like, where are we
Yeah.
actually going? But what's also interesting is you're carrying this metal thing with all these holes, these sieve. And what's good about that is we know that that represents a metaphor of burden because we carry burdens. You know, like old JC with his cross, carrying burdens. Atlas with his fucking globe. So
Yeah.
burdens or things we carry a metaphor. That's represented. But my question to you is, where are you taking this sieve ball to, Lucy? Where are you going with it? Where are you taking this thing?
Hmm. Well, it's very light. It doesn't really feel like mine either, that I'm taking it somewhere. Maybe I'm taking it to,
Yeah, where are you taking it? Where are you going with this thing?
it's almost like the holes are getting bigger in this colander ball thing. And
Cool, that's what's
the,
happening. I didn't ask that. I asked where you're taking it. Where you
oh, where am
going
I
with it?
taking it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in a metaphorically, or yeah.
Well, where you taking it? Where are you going with it?
Well, what keeps coming up is I'm taking it to, to the molten place where all the metal gets
Yeah,
taken down.
and then
Hmm.
because that sounds like wishful thinking to me.
Right. I don't know.
Okay, so you've taken and there. Where are we going with it? So where are you taking this thing? Where are you going with it?
So I see myself. So this. Are you talking about the metal ball thing?
Yeah, the thing you're carrying. Where are you taking it?
It feels like I'm going around taking everyone else's, putting more stuff in it. I'm giving it to people, and they're putting more things in it.
Oh, I got it. So people are putting more weight on you. Okay, and you're carrying more weight for other people. Cool. But where are you taking it? That's what you're doing with it. Clearly, it's a receptacle for things of other people.
Hmm. Then I'm
Nothing
taking
that.
it to the dump.
Are you loose, or is that just wishful thinking?
I don't know. I don't know what to do with it then.
Yeah. So
Don't
where
know
are you
where.
taking it? Ultimately, where are you going with this thing? Where are you taking it? Where are you going with it?
Um. Yeah, that's really hard for me to answer when I think that I want to take it somewhere to get rid of it.
Yeah. But ultimately, what we want and our reality can sometimes be quite different things.
Yeah.
So where are you taking it, Lucy? Where are you going with it?
I'd say the words to the ends of the earth come to mind.
Ends of the earth.
Yeah.
Wow. So we still got this in like 1 year's time. This thing.
Um, no, it's not. It's smaller.
Well, no. So you've still got it, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah,
still
yeah,
got it,
yeah,
but it's
yeah. Okay,
smaller.
cool. There we go. We're being honest with ourselves. So we've still got it in a year. 5 years down the line, we still got this thing.
It's not. It's. I'm not holding it. It's on the side.
Is it loose?
um.
Says the woman who's taking it to the ends of the earth. So 5 years time, you still got this thing, right?
Yeah. Probably
Cool.
can't.
10 years
Can't
time, you
let
still
it
got
go.
it.
Maybe I can't let it go.
So 10 years time, where are you taking it? You still got it. 10 years time. So ultimately, where are you taking this thing, Liz? Where are you taking this thing?
Yeah. Well, it feels like I can take it with me. That it's got light coming into it. It's not all
Yeah,
burden.
nothing. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
So ultimately, where are you taking it to, Lucy?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then it says it wants to go to a party.
Oh. It has a voice now. Okay.
It has
And
a voice. It's an
it has a
entity.
voice. The sieve with a voice. And then where are you taking it after the party?
It's going. I'm not taking it anywhere after that. It's gone off.
Really?
Maybe
Ultimately,
it's.
where are you taking this? Where are you going with this, Liz? You got this in 1 year. You got this in 5 years. You got this in 10 years. Ultimately, where are you going with this thing? Where are you taking it? Where are you taking it to?
Don't really. I can't do that.
So 20 years down the line, you still got this thing, right?
Yeah, seems to be
Cool.
part of my life.
Cool. So ultimately, where are you taking it? Where are you going with it? 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, you still got it?
Yeah. So then, am I taking it to my grave?
What are you doing that for?
I don't know. I keep trying to get rid of it. They keep asking me where I'm taking it. I've taken it to the tip. I've
Yeah,
taken it to my mum. I've taken it to a party. I've
well, this
tried
is
to
the
give it away.
interesting thing. This is the interesting thing because burdens in metaphor, they represent responsibility. Right?
Mm,
Now, what's interesting about that is all burdens in metaphor represent responsibility, but not all responsibilities are burdens.
mm,
Now, I have a stepson. Love my stepson's a bit super awesome, and I take responsibility for him. Like, I've got to look after him, do stuff like that. Now, there are some parents out there who think their child is a burden, a child is a weight on their shoulders, something that they've got to do, something they've got to carry. So, all burdens are responsibilities, but not all responsibilities are burdens. And the trouble is with burdens is we can't put them down, because if we do try and put them down, we tell everybody why we can't put them down. So ultimately, we give them to somebody else, or we take them to our grave.
Mm.
So let's just try one more thing while we're here. So standing on that, just try something for me. Just close your eyes for a second, Lucy. So standing on that platform, fog to your left, green pasture to your right, elephant behind. Just take a step back and tell me what you notice.
There's a bit of a block there. I can't
And
move
what
it further back.
and what happens?
I can't work out whether it's a block that's stopping me or whether it's a support to stop me falling.
And what happens?
Nothing really.
And how does that change things?
A little bit like not to focus on that really, not to that
Okay.
is quite irrelevant really. Yeah.
Okay. Go back to the original position and take a step to your left and tell me what you notice.
And it does make me feel a bit lost, a bit weaker.
And what happens?
I can't see where I'm going. My arms are out, and yeah, it's not the way I want to go.
And how does that change things?
It's I want to say I'm going to shut the door on it, but it's almost like I can now see it through a window. So I know it's there, but it's not necessarily a pathway that I'm going to go towards.
Got you. Go back to the original position. Take a step to your right and tell me what you notice.
That takes me to a place beyond the sunshine, almost beyond everything else. So that's almost like a bit of beyond business where I might land.
And what happens?
It's quite a gentle feeling. Um, I'm a little bit worried that I might get there before I've done the business, as it were.
And how does that change things?
I'm not ready for the pasture yet.
Hmm. Okay, go back to the original position and take a step forward and tell me what you notice.
There's a warmth on my face. There's a sort of inviting feeling that I'm ready.
And what happens?
It energizes me,
And how does that change things?
makes me feel like I'm on the right path.
Nice.
Hmm.
So what's interesting about this is sometimes when we're in a position like this, when we're elevated, like normally society tells us up is good, down is bad. Like getting promoted, going up in the world, big G man's up there, getting demoted, going down in the dumps, going to hell, all that sort of stuff. So sometimes by taking steps off these things, it can be a bit of a letdown. But sometimes the positions that we maintain keep us stuck
Mm.
because we're not actively taking steps. So if I was to give you just generalized advice from
Yeah.
my personal perspective, um, yeah, I would look for what's a waypoint in the direction I'm going. Because realistically, I mean, you can take steps and you can explore different directions. But for me, having a bit of I mean, I normally dislike goals, but at least having a relative idea of what I want to reach can make the steps easier and my steps more confident because I at least know what direction I'm looking to go in.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, any thoughts, observations, anything you would like to share?
Yeah, I think it's encouraging and it makes things clear. I think what came to mind there as you summed up was that actually sometimes I'm like, oh, well, this is my big goal that I'm going to work towards. But actually, then I focus too much over there and I forget the action steps. But So it's really about focusing down, but also with going towards, having that path. Because these other paths, these other ways can give me information, and it's good to know that they're there, but just to stay on that path towards where I want to go and where I want to be, but one step at a time to get there.
Nice. Cool. I'm going to stop the recording now, but thank you very much, Lucy. That was awesome. And message me in a week or two. Let me know how it's going and how things show up. Well, that was another metaphorical exploration of business with clients. If you've liked this, do subscribe. Any other idioms I missed, do put in the chat. And as always, I'll catch you at the next one and keep on taking steps.